Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 338.
338.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and MouseFan Travel. I can't believe it's almost the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival time. That's March 4th is when it starts, and I believe till June 1st. So check out MEI and MouseFan Travel. There's so much going on, not only here, but we have the Magic Happens Parade happening at Disneyland.
And that's not long away, I think, February 28th, so a few short days until that starts.
Yes, and also there's a Secret Life of Pets attraction at
Universal Hollywood, yes.
So I'm very excited about that. Now, definitely check out MEI and MouseFan Travel. You can fill out a quote form, really, for just about any place you want to go in this whole world. Now, I do want to mention, we're late on the show. We did Villains After Hours 2 weeks ago.
I can't believe it's been 2 weeks.
I know. Disney invited us out. But then Jeff not only had his Daytona races.
I got a bonus case of bronchitis,
yes,
which I'm still kind of trying to get over.
Well, I would have done the show myself if I had known that it was going to take this long. And I may even end up finishing the show myself.
We'll see how it goes.
We're not sure if he's going to make it through this whole show. So anyway, thanks for listening. And now we'll talk about Villains After Hours.
All right. So let's
Villains After Hours.
Let's set up Mr. Stephen Miller, who's going to talk about the merchandise. We went to a preview event right before the first Disney Villains After Hours.
Yes. And Stephen Miller is always fantastic to listen to. And here he is talking about the merchandise.
Hi, my name's Steven. I'm here talking about Disney Villains After Hours merchandise you're going to find at Magic Kingdom.
And what is it that we can find?
Well, I love the bomber jacket. It's one of my favorite items. I'm wearing it. I've been wearing it all day. Super comfortable. It has the Villains After Hours logo on the back. Then it has Hades. He's my favorite villain from Disney's Hercules. He rules, as he likes to say. And again, you're going to find some of these items were created especially for the event, and they're very stylish. So again, I can pair this, dress it up, dress it down, wear it out to the event. We have great tees for both men, women. This is a nice ruffled tee. Again, very fashionable, very trendy, very on trend. Pass holder tee. This is very soft. Again, a very comfortable tee if you're going out to the party there. And then leggings. Leggings. Everybody loves leggings. They're very comfortable to wear it when you go out to the parks. And again, we have some really fun themed ones created especially for the party itself. Now, you can pair all of these items with then some other fun jewelry that we carry on a regular basis, whether it be Alex and Ani. We have some new light-up wings that were inspired by Maleficent. Wear them just like a backpack, and they do light up. Perfect for a nighttime party at Magic Kingdom. And then one of my other favorite items probably has to be the zipper. It's Oogie Boogie from Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. His head opens up, and on the back it does have the Villains After Hours logo there.
Very nice.
Now you can find these items. Best place to check is probably Emporium, right on Main Street, USA. That's going to be the headquarters for everything. Mickey Star Traders over in Tomorrowland, and then Fantasy Fair in Fantasyland. They probably have some other Villains items in Fantasy Fair too, but Emporium is your best place to check. And then check out online at DisneyWorld.com/Villains After Hours for all the details about the party. It runs for 24 different nights. You're going to find that through most of this year here. Again, DisneyWorld.com/Villains After Hours. And then tag those, what you're wearing to the party. I want to see it. Go and add hashtag Villains After Hours to any of your social media posts. I want to see what outfit you picked for the party.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
It's always nice to talk to Stephen. I just want to mention Jeff took a little video of the merchandise in the Emporium at the end of the evening.
About 15 minutes after the goodbye that
right.
We're about to... Well, you'll see the goodbye later on.
And so we're just looking at some of those items as you'll find them there.
And this is usually where the Christmas and Halloween party merchandise is displayed off in the corner over at the Emporium.
And I want to mention Disney Villains After Hours is $145 per guest plus tax if purchased ahead. $115 plus tax for pass holder or DVC members. And that is for 3 official hours plus a couple of more hours. In this case, our event started at 9, it ended at 12. And then we could have gotten in at 7 if we didn't have the media event. We actually arrived a few minutes after 9. And they have that the goodbye that we're going to talk about, the Villains Goodbye at the end of the evening.
Adds a little bonus to the night.
Right. So it sort of extended it out till about 12:15. There is no last show as far as the Villains Unite the night at midnight like there was last year. But we'll talk more about that later on. Right now we're going to listen to Chef Amy. We asked her to just explain some of the food options that you can purchase at Disney Villains After Hours. But there are other items that are included, including bottled drinks and then the popcorn and ice cream treats.
Welcome everyone, I am Chef Amy from the Magic Kingdom, pastry sous chef there.
And can you tell us what we're looking at here?
These are our Disney Villains After options. We start off on Main Street, USA with our Hades hot dog. It's going to be buffalo chicken, spicy ranch, celery, and fiery cheese dust. To wash that down, you can get the Hades Temptation, lemonade and violet syrup in a slush form with that gummy worm. We'll head across the street to Main Street Bakery, where you can get the locked away Maiden loaded grilled cheese sandwich, provolone cheese, pepper jack, tomatoes, bacon jam. At Gaston's Tavern, you will find the 5 dozen egg slush. It's a frozen custard with whipped cream and cinnamon. Get nice and strong, just like Gaston. We move over to Storybook Treats. We have the Body Language. It's going to be cookies and cream mousse with chocolate cake, chocolate glaze, and meringue tentacles. There as well, you're going to find the Poor Unfortunate Souls float, black raspberry soft serve with cherry coke, a sugar crown, and chocolate candies. We have the Diamond in the Rough, mango slush with whipped cream, cinnamon, and a chocolate diamond. This can be found at Tortuga Tavern. We head on over to Cheshire Cafe, representing the Queen of Hearts. Hearts on Fire is going to be fruit punch, Coke, strawberry popping candies, and our strawberry garnish. The Royal Majesty, our strawberry cake pop, coated in white chocolate and sprinkles. And then the Painting the Roses Red, we never want to lose our heads. It's going to be cream cheese mousse with a raspberry jelly, a little red cocoa butter, buttercream, and it's got a sugar cookie base.
It's really good.
And lastly, we head over to Sleepy Hollow. We have the Just Take 3 house-made beignets, vanilla gelato, white chocolate ganache, whipped cream, chocolate candies, and to wash that down, the Voodoo Magic lemonade and green apple with a purple candy straw.
Boy, this looks great. I'm getting very hungry already. Well, thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Hopefully you enjoy everything tonight.
Now, several of those items actually look really interesting, and I said to Jeff after the party was over that I actually felt like I wouldn't mind to pay to go back. And like if we were there from 7 till midnight, I think that would be more likely where we might end up picking an item or two.
Oh,
up.
definitely. And by the way, this is the Disney Villains After Hours map. Has all the information, showtimes, everything. We always recommend picking that up right away.
And that's actually a very nice guide. Like it's a thicker map than
Good quality.
Yes. So we were going in. Now, we had been to regular Disney After Hours about a month ago, and it is a very different event. The Disney Villains After Hours has entertainment, where the regular Disney After Hours is a little less expensive, but you know, it really is just going on rides and walking around the park.
You could see, though, the park is still relatively empty. We did a quick walk around the park before going to the first Villains show.
I can't guarantee that it will always be this empty.
Right, this was the first night.
This was the first night. There are some photo backdrops. There are no meet and greets at the event. I would love to see it, except that, you know, when they've had other events before, sometimes it's like a 3-hour wait for a character. And that's the one difficult thing, is that it would take up your whole night.
And you have a dance party that goes on for the full 3 hours of the party.
And
except for when the show itself is on.
They've played some interesting music, a lot of 80s music. Like
it was
from
good, good rock music for once. I actually liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty fun. So Villains Unite the Night is the show that is here. This is the second year that they have now had it. Disney Villains After Hours has about 20 dates this year, 19 or 20 dates, where last year they had about 10. So it's double, and it goes into July. So July 10th will be the last day, and it's mostly Fridays. Hades is the star of this show, and Megara also. So Hades and Megara kind of share that.
Well, I have to mention, it was a very cool night that we were there, and I was in the front row. This is a great show, and you'll see as you watch the highlights, a great show for a cool night because there is lots of fire and big fire.
It's a long show. It's about 23 minutes long. I don't really totally understand the the concept of the show, but it's fun to watch.
The concept is the villains will do better if they all work together.
Is
yes,
that?
What a positive message.
I totally didn't. I sort of
That's
got
my
that, but
take of it.
That's what we'll say. There's some fun stunts here. You've got different villains. You can see Jafar as a face character here. And the one thing we'll see later is the Queen of Hearts will be a face character at the park as well. And then we have the Evil Queen. We'll see Maleficent. And each of them bring like henchmen
that do special tricks.
Yeah, they all do
acts.
Yeah, they all do like stunts. And I think that's fun. And the nice thing about the show also is all the projections. And they give you a fair bit of fireworks at the end for something that really is not a fireworks show.
Yeah, it almost is like having a firework display during the after-hours event.
Right, just a little one, but more than some shows that are at the castle that, end with fireworks. So I think to me, that makes it worth it. You can see you've got some stunts going on here. The fire, I think there's 2 fire people.
Yeah, they are great. I mean, I like this one a lot. And again, it was really cold, so it was so nice to have all this warmth being up there.
And I think it's about a $15 difference between regular after hours, $15 to $20 difference versus Disney Villains After Hours. But you do get a show. You're going to see kind of a mini parade. And then villains saying goodbye to you. And for many, this will be worth it.
Oh, yeah. And look at this. Maleficent center stage with all the villains. Now you know it's time for the finale. And I think we're going to see some of that bonus. This is that little bonus fireworks that you mentioned. I think it's really good.
It surprises me how much fireworks they do for the show. And so it really is. It's worth watching. It isn't going to be ever on the
it's no Hocus Pocus.
It's no Hocus Pocus is exactly what I was going to say. I can't believe Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular is Spelltacular is like 5 years old now.
Let's give some recommendations to see the show. You don't really need to get there very early, like some of those others. Certainly not like Hocus Pocus.
Right.
I mean, you could kind of show up right before it starts and still have a pretty decent place.
And I wouldn't personally be up front like you were. I like kind of to be a little further back where I can see the castle as well. We had a roped off area. You did not go to that in the hub. In the hub. And so I preferred that to where you were.
Well, for a 23-minute show, I need to be close.
I totally get it.
Anyway, look at this. It is hot popcorn, and there's some Mickey bars and sodas. Those are all included as much as you want during the event.
For 3 hours, you can stuff yourself silly.
That's right. Another bonus of the Disney Villains After Hours is unlike the regular After Hours, there are enhanced attractions, including Pirates of the Caribbean, and we're going to see some live pirates infiltrate the attraction, and here's one right now.
And there's 2 attractions that have enhancements at Space Mountain and Pirates of the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. Now, I was kind of trying to get out of everybody's way.
You snuck right by, and she noticed that.
I actually was trying to make sure that the people behind us the guests behind us could keep going. Mm-hmm. And she
called you out.
She did. She called me out. I'm just trying to be nice to the guests behind us so they don't get stuck behind, all of us trying to get some footage.
Now, we've seen Pirates where she was in other versions of this, but this location is brand new, and this is not really a known pirate. It's just a regular pirate, but he has a microphone. He's talking and interacting with you, and it was really nice to see they've added even another pirate to the bonus.
This is not worth waiting like 20 minutes for.
But you don't have to.
No, but at the beginning of the evening,
yeah.
At the beginning of the evening in the past, sometimes guests will get in line because they know there's something special mm-hmm. here. But don't do that. Wait till the end of the evening, and hopefully there'll be no line, and there's no need to wait too long. Now, also, we'll see Captain Barbossa.
That's right. And he is in his usual spot, at least where he's been in the last couple of these enhanced. They also have an enhanced version of this during the Halloween party. And there he is up on the bridge.
I really like, having enhanced attractions. I think the first year that they did any of that, a couple years ago.
Gunpowder Pete.
It wasn't quite as good. I think, every iteration gets better and better with a little bit more... like the Mad Tea Party. I really like that during Halloween.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Especially Pirates. This is my favorite of all of the updated or enhanced versions.
I would love to see villains take over the Mad Tea Party. I think that would be really fun.
Haunted Mansion. people
Yeah,
can jump out and scare you, and maybe you wouldn't like that.
We're coming up with all kinds of new ideas.
Yes.
So there is, fun lighting around the park, projections. So if you're just taking a walk around the park, it's kind of fun to just look at the different areas.
And you don't get this kind of enhancement at a regular after hours. There are some little lighting bonuses, but nothing like this.
It's a lot more during Disney Villains After Hours, but there is some, I think, during the regular, like we just did Disney After Hours, and I only stayed I think I was only there about an hour. We were so busy. But you stayed a little bit longer for that one.
And here we have Space Mountain, and you mentioned before it is also enhanced. But by enhanced, the lights are turned off.
They turned the lights
It's
off.
completely dark in there, which is scarier than it sounds. Especially this version of Space Mountain, and also there is some ominous villain-type music playing.
I was thinking that I had done that before, but I don't think that I've done the one that's totally in the dark. I think I did just the Christmas
You've done
version.
the Christmas. I've done the dark one a couple times.
So I kind of wish now I had done it because it would be interesting. Although the point of Space Mountain is it's in the dark,
right?
But with this, it's like pitch black.
And you can see not many people around the Magic Kingdom. No wait at all for the Speedway, and most of the attraction this night anyway had a very, very short wait.
Well, I mean, during these type of events, when especially when we're invited, we're really not doing attractions. I think, did we just do Pirates and that was it?
Well, we did
this time?
attractions at the last After Hours event.
Right, a little bit. I did like People Mover twice because I love People Mover, especially at night. So again, photo ops. You have the Red Queen or the Queen of Hearts here with the cards, and these are cute. I know a lot of guests still want those meet and greets, and I totally get that. But for 3 hours, I think it would be a hard thing.
This is the longest wait I've seen for any attraction, and it was for the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And this was about 15 minutes before 12 o'clock, before the party ended. We took off and headed straight down to our favorite spot in Town Square to see the Disney Villains Cursed Caravan, which is sort of a little villains parade that is brand new to this version of the party.
And we did this twice. One of them was in front of the castle, and then over here in Town Square. Town Square is better lit, so if you're looking for photos or a little video, Town Square is a better location. I think it's probably the best location.
And I mixed the two together, so you'll get an idea of what both of them look like as we're watching these highlights.
Now, Town Square is only the second, we'll call it a parade. But
it's basically
Caravan.
after the party ends by the time it even gets there. So
Right.
you can fully see the entire party. And if you run down to Town Square, you'll be able to see this after 12 or after whatever hour the party ends.
If you want to see the first one, you have to be by the castle or in Frontierland, somewhere between that.
It does not go down Main Street.
It doesn't. And so I really like the addition of, Gaston on horseback, Lady Tremaine in the carriage. We have
Stepsisters.
Yes, I like the variety here. It's last year they just had Maleficent going
Right.
down Main Street.
And look at the crowds.
Well, yeah,
Non-existent. I see you over there in the background
I don't want to
taking
say
pictures.
I don't want to say there won't be any crowds though, because there can be some crowds. It is capped. I love that the Queen of Hearts is a face character. It is not the first time. I thought it was, but there was an event at Disney's Hollywood Studios where she was a face character as well a number of years ago. The cards are really a nice addition. I have never seen the cards before, so it really is a nice little bonus. But Queen of Hearts as a face character, I like that a lot.
And I like seeing Cruella with her henchmen. You never see these henchmen. I forget what their names are, but they're play a big part in the film.
Honestly, it was really because of the Villains Curse Caravan that really kind of capped it for me, where I'm like, I wouldn't mind coming back to this. I just thought this was a lot of fun.
Now you can see there's much more people here. This is the first caravan in front of the castle. I'm not a fan of the lighting here. I think I prefer the lighting around Town Square, but the castle is always beautiful to have in the background. So, you have your pluses and minuses.
Yeah, for me, this was just a little rough for photos, and my flash wasn't working for some reason
This was
day.
wonderful. Ursula makes an appearance.
Ursula, now, if you've ever seen the Frightfully Fun Parade at Disneyland during their Halloween party previously, this is what Ursula looks like.
Yeah.
And or looked like. And then she also has the puppeteers there too. So I just think this is again a nice bonus. And her and Gaston, like on my social media, were so popular. So I think there's going to be a lot of tickets sold, especially for this Villains Curse Caravan and Villains Unite the Night.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of the villains, and really who isn't a fan of Disney villains, this is a great, definitely a great bonus.
If you did the event previously, this time to me is a pretty good upgrade than last time around.
And here is Oogie Boogie and the bowler hat guy. If you are a fan of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, you'll recognize this float, the villains float there.
Yeah, you would have Pain and Panic on the back.
Well, no, I think yeah. Oh, right.
Yes,
it's good to be bad. This is it's good to be bad.
And so here we have the Big Bad Wolf and Captain Hook. And I want to know, Big Bad Wolf is in the park. 3 Little Pigs have been in the park. Does anybody know why like a Little Red Riding Hood isn't in the park?
I don't think she's involved.
But Little Red Riding Hood is with the 3 Little Pigs and Big Bad Wolf in the story.
I think
so
that's another IP.
I don't know. I have no idea. So I was just wondering that the other day if anybody knows that. So anyway, then Maleficent comes. Maleficent was not breathing fire on the evening that we were there.
Now, last year we went twice to this event, and she did breathe fire both times. So perhaps it was
she's supposed to. She is supposed
to.
But for whatever reason, on this evening, she didn't. But she is the only one who was part of a procession last year. It was only her going through the park, and I think having this Villains Curse Caravan, again, a fun addition. You've got the bonus of Maleficent here, and hopefully she'll be breathing fire the rest of the evenings. But I just think the whole thing as a whole, and you can see it twice, is just really fun.
So on our night, the party ended at midnight, and the second Villains Unite the Night show started at 11:30. So my recommendation would be to go check out that show, and directly after it ends, run down here to Town Square and catch the Disney Villains Curse Caravan, and then stay right around where you are, because this little bonus happens directly after the caravan at the end of the night.
And it's not as long as last year. They did do a farewell last year. But here it was like about 10 minutes long, as opposed to, it felt like it went on quite a bit last year.
Yeah, it was 15. This was a full 15 minutes because I recorded the whole thing. That's the only reason I know.
Well,
so I edited it down.
Last year they weren't in a caravan.
Right.
You just had Maleficent. So when Maleficent was coming down, they were already up there. So they may have been up there for like an hour last year. But again, they're in the caravan. And again, here you have the Red Queen or Queen of Hearts up there as a face character, and they talk to you, so it's an interactive type of a thing. So
very interactive. They talk at you. Actually, most of the time they tell you to get out, and what are you still doing hanging around there?
And yet
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and yet you still are.
You're staring at them.
So it really is a nice little ending to the evening. If you leave at midnight, you're going to totally miss it.
Well, I like that they all talk this year. Last year I think they had the bowler hat guy, and
Big Bad Wolf
is up there. That's right. So it's more fun when they can all sort of talk to you and talk back at you.
Right. It's all face characters this year, as opposed to a mix of the face characters, and I call them plush.
Right.
They're not plush, but that's how I've always kind of referred to them.
Right, and completely unscripted. You never know what you're going to get with it. And again, in this time, it was a lot of fun because there was a lot of banter going back and forth. I think Gaston here sort of stole the show.
I think so too. Like mostly the Queen of Hearts was just telling everybody to vamoose, but yeah, he kept showing his biceps and everything.
Yeah, he had to be dragged off, and even then he still comes back. So that is Gaston.
I know I raved a little bit about that Villains Curse Caravan, and it's just a little thing, but I think for this event, it really just, for me, I think that was actually the highlight for me.
So you can see here, it is now 12:30 and the show is over, and Main Street here is really thinning out. I had just gone in and got that video that I showed at the beginning of the merchandise, and here you can see people getting some guests getting some pictures taken on the ground, and another nice display of projections.
And they do get you out of there quicker than, let's say, the Halloween party or after Villains After Hours last year, because last year they had the show that started at midnight.
That's right. That's the big difference from last year. You had 3 Villains Unite the Night shows, last one starting at the very end of the night. And as that started, you would have the characters start to say goodbye at the same time. And after the Unite the Night show, you would have the just one float of Maleficent going down Main Street. by the time she got there, it was 1:45 if the party ended at 12. So it really extended the night. So, that's the big difference for this year's party.
And I prefer having the Villain's Curse Caravan than 3 shows. I'd rather have 2 of those and then the 2 shows. So I think they did a good job this year. Whether it's worth it, that's up to you. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I would do it again for the pass holder price.
I would do it again too. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a good event. As you know, I'm a huge fan of the Halloween party and the Christmas party. We go to those on our own every year for over 15 years in a row now. So we love the special events.
Right, the special events, yes.
And speaking of special events, now we're going to talk about one of our favorite special events every year. Well, actually, only the second year. It is Maria and Enzo's Carnevale.
So we were invited for the second year, and I think it's only been 2 years now that it's been here, to Maria and Enzo's for Carnevale. Last year was one of the best dining events that we had ever done, that we had ever done.
Fun,
it was amazing.
Just fun.
There was entertainment going, like bands and stilt walkers and jugglers and all that. So that's what I expected for this year. Now, Carnevale is through the entire month of February, so we still have another week or so left here. It is, I will call it, subdued. It's much more subdued. The food is still really good, and the decor is above and beyond, but the entertainment is less. So if you did it last year, don't go in expecting it to be like it was last year. And the menu is also different this year. Last year it was like, let's say it's around $40, and then you could choose different items.
Like an appetizer, main course,
right,
that kind of thing.
Right. And then also there was an a la carte menu. But this year there's one menu. It's the Carnevale menu. And then you can choose, it's like
whatever you want.
Right.
There's just a little bonuses that you get.
Right, like the meatballs and dessert. So that's how that works. Now, we ended up getting a balloon. I got a balloon flower. So think of Carnevale right now as going in for a regular dinner, but it's amped up with some entertainment. And you've got, we got a balloon flower, and also there's mask painting. So there's still some really fun things. And I did not expect that I would be on the video.
Oh, of course, you have to show that flour. And there's the yummy bread. That bread is fantastic, by the way.
This is a homemade focaccia and ciabatta bread, and that actually is really delicious bread. And then also now the little vegetables there also were something that come with the meals. Now, we had some really nice drinks, and again, we were invited. This is called the Red Mask, and it's got whiskey. I'm not a whiskey drinker, but it's a really hearty and delicious drink, and it's got strawberry puree and pineapple juice and Maker's Mark whiskey. And then you had the King Carnival with Kettle One vodka.
King Carnival, so good. Very refreshing.
I had 2 red masks. They were so good. Like, if I was actually going to buy a drink, I would buy a red mask.
And that is the little bonus that you talked about?
Right, and just some little vegetables. Nothing that I really eat as much. I don't eat radishes and such, but it's a nice little bonus that comes with the meal. There's several different items.
You can see how elaborate the decor is.
It looked really nice. Last year, they did not go all out on the decorations, and this year they did. Last year, they went all out on the entertainment. This year, it was more again, subdued. Now, the burrata I ordered, I did not like it quite as much as when we went to Topolino's Terrace. That was incredible. This is still good. It's something that you can order off that menu. There's many items that you can order actually off the menu, and some, like I'll show the lasagna, is incredible.
Now, this performer was actually in attendance last year. We found out from looking at pictures.
I was looking at pictures, and it's like, oh, he was in the band. He was incredible because you asked him to play something he did not know.
Well, he's like, is there any song that you like? Well, I said, well, I like Illuminations, Reflections of Earth. And he's like, what is that? I've never heard of that. And he goes off to the corner, and I see him listening. It must have been a YouTube video. And he came back, and he played We Go On here. He was just playing We Go On. I was amazed.
It was
incredible.
incredible.
That was very, very cool that he was able to do. I mean, that's a complicated song, and to be able to just do that was impressive.
I just want to say that that Maria Enzo's does a fantastic lasagna. We had been invited to a lasagna event last year. I'm like, I did not know they made lasagna like this.
Yeah, they
so
taught you how to make it. Yeah, it was a great event.
It's to me, like, I always order lasagna pretty much here now because it's just the best lasagna I've ever had.
And that was a Caesar salad up there. And here we have lobster ravioli.
It's grilled Atlantic lobster with linguine.
Oh, linguine. I'm
Yes.
sorry, linguine.
And then also we had, and you like that.
It
You
was
said
great.
there
There
was
was
a lot
so
of
much
lobster
lobster in there. It was perfect. A lot of times they skimp on the lobster in these dishes. Not the case here.
And when we go to Maria Enzo's on our own, we get the salad. It's a nice salad, but again, the lasagna, I don't know that Maria Enzo's does anything as good as they do lasagna.
And the meatballs were part of the special menu. They were included with it.
Those were really good. Like, I would order, if it was just meatballs on the menu, I would order the meatballs. They were that delicious.
And this is the Fire Dancer. Very spicy. Very, very spicy
Includes
drink.
jalapenos in it.
You could see that floating around. So you didn't care for that. I thought it was okay. But again, it was
very spicy.
Yes.
And then the February Sunset, which includes Cointreau and ginger beer. And I liked it, but the first one that I had was
we
just
both started
the
off
Red Mask
really
was incredible.
strongly. Yeah.
I mean, the Red Mask was one of the better drinks that I've had in a long time. And then they have a fried pastry at the end. We could have ordered off the menu. We could have ordered something, not off the menu, but we could have ordered a different dessert. The fried pastry is just okay for me, so I'd probably normally
We were just too full,
tiramisu
honestly.
or something. Yes, and we brought home a lot of food.
Yeah. So it was just, it was crazy. Here, and they also still had the hand-painted mask, mainly for the kids, although we did it last year.
I don't know that I would say it's mainly for kids. I think it's a very nice addition. It doesn't cost anything extra. We didn't do it because I already have one.
Yeah,
so,
we still have ours from last year, and they're very nice. So.
Yeah, so if you do go to Maria Enzo's this month, there are some very nice offerings with Carnevale.
I actually thought the food was better this year, from at least for what I had.
Oh, that's possible. But again, the lasagna, the meatballs, the lasagna really made for about 3 meals for me. I had part of it during the event, and then we split the rest of it. It's a really thick, deep lasagna, but it's there all year, and I really recommend that if you go to Maria Enzo's.
So believe it or not, and I don't believe it, that is another show.
That is another show. Thanks to our sponsor, MEI Travel and MouseFan Travel. Check them out online. They've been in business for over 20 years now, a really long time. They have almost 100 agents. Becky, who is the owner, is traveling all the time, is always keeping up with the latest cruise lines, the latest, at Walt Disney World, at Disneyland. She travels to Japan. She really keeps up and really lets the agents who probably are also traveling, though not as much as her, know what's going on. And I really recommend them.
So next week, I think we already know a good chunk of what we're going to have. And a lot of it starts and ends with Epcot.
I have been to Epcot every single day that Jeff was at the races, which actually was, 5 days?
Bonus day because of the rain out, yes.
Right.
Didn't help my condition.
And you've been going to the Daytona 500 since 1986?
That's right.
So he's a big fan. But I'm a fan of Epcot, and that's where I spent most of my time getting we had the barbecue open, the Regal Eagle barbecue open. We were seeing topiaries popping up. France, is going to have this expansion coming in summer, but it's looking fantastic.
Look at this. You should see Denise, both hands going.
I love
Epcot.
But at the same time, when you enter Epcot now, there's a lot of changes that have happened in the past week as far as, getting into the park because of all the construction. So I want to discuss that as well. So,
but we will, as you mentioned, you've already sampled Regal Eagle, and I even had a little tiny bit. You brought me some home nicely.
It was good.
Monday, we're going to go back and try it fully. We'll have a couple meals and maybe another dessert. So
a lot's happening at Epcot, so that's what most of what we're going to talk about is. And I just want to say, this has been a hard show to get through. we stopped a lot because Jeff's still...
wheezing and coughing. So thankfully, we've cut all of it out, I think.
Yes, I feel really bad that it's taken this long to get to the show because I've been building up this huge stockpile of stuff for the next show.
Well, next show will be much earlier. We're going to have an earlier show than this week. So
hopefully Wednesday or Thursday or something.
Yeah.
I mean, once Monday's done and we're at Epcot and we get all that. And if anything else happens, but it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of Epcot because I think it's really important right now to discuss it.
So anyway, thanks again for listening. I apologize for the delay, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.